What if I told you that right now, you're about to dive into a tale so wild, so unexpected, that it'll leave you questioning how fate works? Picture this, a man who owns a travel company, jet-setting across the globe, living a life most of us only dream of, crosses paths with a woman who's just a tourist, someone blending into the crowd, her suitcase packed with nothing but wanderlust. Two strangers, one fleeting moment, and a twist of destiny that changes everything. Sounds like the start of a rom-com, right? Oh, but this is no ordinary love story. There's a mystery here, a secret that binds them, and I promise you, it's gonna hit you like a plot twist you never saw coming. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what fate had planned for them, and why it's got everyone buzzing. This is He owned the travel company. She was just a tourist. Fate had other plans. And trust me, you're not gonna want to click away. Let's rewind for a second and get real. You've had those moments, haven't you? Those times when you're just going about your day, maybe grabbing a coffee or catching a flight, and something, or someone, catches your eye. It's like the universe taps you on the shoulder and whispers, "Pay attention, this matters." That's exactly what happened to our two main characters, Ethan and Lila. Ethan's the kind of guy who's got it all figured out. At least, that's what he wants you to think. He's built a travel empire, guiding thrill-seekers to the edges of the world, from the misty peaks of Machu Picchu to the neon-lit streets of Tokyo. He's charming, confident, maybe a little too used to calling the shots. Then there's Lila, a woman who's out there chasing adventure, but not the kind you post on Instagram. She's searching for something deeper, something she can't quite name yet. She's relatable, someone you'd grab a drink with and swap stories about that one time you got lost in a new city. When their paths cross on a sun-drenched island getaway, it's not just a meet cute, it's the start of something that feels bigger than both of them. You're probably wondering, what's the catch? Why does this feel like more than just a chance encounter? I'm getting there, and I need you to stay with me, because the answer's gonna blow your mind. Now, let's talk about you for a minute. You're here because you love a good story, don't you? You're the kind of person who gets sucked into those trending YouTube videos. The ones with love, drama, and a sprinkle of mystery that keep you up past midnight. You're curious, maybe a little romantic at heart, and you're dying to know how two people who seem so different could be tied together by something as wild as fate. I get it. I'm just like you. I've spent hours binge-watching videos, chasing that feeling of, what happens next? That's why I'm telling you this story, because it's got all the things you love. A slow-burn connection, a puzzle that doesn't quite fit, and a vibe that's equal parts dreamy and intense. But here's the deal. I'm not just gonna spoon-feed you the answers. I'm gonna take you on this journey, step by step, so you feel like you're right there with Ethan and Lila, unpacking their secrets, feeling their highs and lows. You're not just watching a video. You're living this story with me. So, grab your popcorn, silence your phone, and let's dive into this adventure together. You won't regret it. Let's set the scene, because the atmosphere here is everything. Imagine a tropical island, the kind you see in those viral travel vlogs. Turquoise waves crashing against white sand, palm trees swaying in the breeze, and a sunset that looks like it was painted just for you. Ethan's there, running one of his exclusive travel packages, the kind that promises once-in-a-lifetime experiences for people with deep pockets. He's in his element, charming clients, making sure every detail is perfect. Lila, on the other hand, is just passing through. She's not one of Ethan's VIPs, she's a solo traveler, her backpack stuffed with dreams and a dog-eared journal. Their worlds couldn't be more different, but when they lock eyes across a crowded beach bar, it's like the air shifts. You know that feeling, right? When time slows down, and for a split second, it's just you and someone else in the whole universe. That's where this story starts, but it's not where it ends. There's something about Lila that Ethan can't shake, and something about Ethan that pulls Lila in, even though she's got every reason to keep her guard up. What's the spark between them? Is it love, or is it something more dangerous? I'm not spilling that yet, but I'm dropping a hint. One of them is hiding something, and it's gonna turn this sunny paradise into a storm of emotions. Here's where I need you to lean in closer. This isn't just about Ethan and Lila, it's about the bigger questions that keep us up at night. Have you ever wondered if the people you meet by chance were meant to be in your life? Like, what if that random stranger you bumped into at the airport or the person who smiled at you in line was part of some grand plan? That's the theme running through this story. Fate. It's trending everywhere right now. People are obsessed with soulmates, destiny, and those meant-to-be moments that give you chills. This video is gonna tap into that obsession, but it's not gonna be all hearts and flowers. There's a conflict brewing, a tension that's gonna make you question everything. Ethan's got his secrets, Lila's got her doubts, and the island they're on? Let's just say it's got a history that's about to come crashing into their lives. You're probably thinking, okay, but what's the mystery? Give me something. I hear you, and I'm gonna deliver, but you've gotta trust me. This story's worth the wait. By the time we're done, you'll be hitting that like button and begging for part 2. Let's talk about why this story hits different. You're not just here for a quick laugh or a 5-minute distraction. You're here because you want to feel something. You want to be swept away, to escape your everyday routine and lose yourself in a world where anything's possible. That's what Ethan and Lila's story does. It's got the drama of those viral reality shows, the romance of a Netflix binge, and the intrigue of a true crime podcast. But more than that, it's relatable. Ethan's chasing success, Lila's chasing meaning, and we've all been there, trying to figure out what really matters. As you watch this, you're gonna see pieces of yourself in them. Maybe you've taken a leap of faith, like Lila, or maybe you've built walls around your heart, like Ethan. Either way, their story's gonna resonate, and it's gonna keep you hooked because it's not just about what happens, it's about why it happens. And I'm not gonna lie, there's a moment coming up that's gonna make your jaw drop. You're gonna want to talk about it in the comments, trust me. Now, I know what you're thinking, this sounds good, but how do I know it's worth my time? Fair question. You've got a million videos to choose from, and you're giving me your attention, which is a big deal. So here's my promise to you. This story's got everything you're craving right now. It's got the trending keywords you're searching for. Love, travel, mystery, fate, drama. It's got characters you'll root for, even when they mess up. And it's got a twist that's gonna make you rethink everything you thought you knew. I'm not here to waste your time with fluff or clickbait. I'm here to tell you a story that's gonna stick with you long after the video ends. But you've gotta do your part. Stay with me, keep watching, and don't you dare skip ahead. The payoff's coming, and it's gonna be worth every second. You're not just a viewer, you're part of this journey, and I'm counting on you to see it through. Let's circle back to Ethan and Lila, because things are about to get juicy. They're on this island, surrounded by beauty, but there's a shadow hanging over them. Ethan's noticing things about Lila that don't add up, little details that make him wonder who she really is. Lila's picking up on Ethan's intensity, the way he seems to know more than he's letting on. The chemistry between them is electric, but it's not all sparks and butterflies. There's a push and pull, a dance of trust and suspicion that's gonna keep you guessing. And then there's the island itself. Locals whisper about a legend, a story tied to the very spot where Ethan and Lila met. It's the kind of thing that sounds like a campfire tale, but what if it's more than just a myth? What if it's the key to everything? You're probably itching to know more, and I don't blame you. I'm dropping just enough to keep you hooked, but I'm holding back the big reveal for a reason. You've got to stick around to see how it all connects. Here's where I'm gonna play my master move to keep you watching. I'm not just telling you a story. I'm inviting you into a world where anything can happen. Every twist, every glance between Ethan and Lila, every clue hidden in the background, it's all building to something massive. You're not gonna get all the answers in this intro, but you're gonna get enough to feel like you're part of something special. You're gonna feel that itch to keep going, to find out what's around the next corner. And I'm talking directly to you, because this isn't just a video. It's a vibe, a connection, a reason to hit that subscribe button and join the thousands of people who are already obsessed with this story. You're not just watching. You're invested. You're gonna be the one telling your friends, you have to watch this. So, don't even think about clicking away. We're just getting started, and the best is yet to come. As the sun sets on that island, Ethan and Lila are standing at a crossroads. One conversation, one choice could change everything. But just when they're about to take a step closer, something, or someone, interrupts. A figure in the shadows, a voice from the past, a secret that's been buried for years. Who are they? What do they want? And how does it tie to the mystery that's got you on the edge of your seat? You're not gonna find out right now, but I promise, the truth is closer than you think. Keep watching, because fate's got one more surprise up its sleeve, and it's gonna leave you speechless. Right where we left off, the air on that tropical island feels heavier, charged with something unspoken as Ethan and Lila stand frozen, their eyes locked on the shadowy figure emerging from the dusk. The faint hum of laughter from the beach bar fades, and for a moment, It's just them and this stranger, whose presence seems to carry the weight of 1,000 unanswered questions. You're probably leaning into your screen right now, wondering who this person is and why they've just derailed what could have been a pivotal moment for our two strangers. That's the beauty of this story. It's not just about Ethan and Lila. It's about the threads of fate weaving around them, pulling in other lives, other secrets, and a history that's starting to feel like it's been waiting for this exact moment to unravel. Let's dive deeper into their world, peel back the layers of who they are, and introduce a few new faces that are about to make this mystery even juicier. Stick with me, because the tension's only climbing, and every detail I'm about to share is gonna make you want to keep watching until we get to the heart of what's really going on. Let's start with Ethan, because there's more to this travel mogul than meets the eye. On the surface, he's the picture of success. A man in his early 30s who's turned his passion for adventure into a multi-million-dollar business. His travel company, Wanderpulse, is the kind of brand you see plastered across trending YouTube vlogs, promising bucket list experiences like diving with sharks in the Pacific or hiking through the Amazon. Ethan's got the charm to match, with a smile that could sell out a tour in minutes and a knack for making everyone feel like they're his best friend. But beneath the polished exterior, there's a restlessness. Ethan's been running from something. Maybe a regret, maybe a memory, for years. He doesn't talk about his past, not even to his closest employees, and there's a reason his office is filled with maps but no family photos. When he spots Lila at that beach bar, it's not just her warm laugh or the way she tucks her hair behind her ear that pulls him in. It's something familiar, something that stirs a part of him he's tried to bury. You're probably thinking, okay, what's he hiding? I'm not gonna spill it all yet, but let's just say Ethan's empire might be built on more than just good business sense, and Lila's arrival is about to crack that foundation wide open. Now let's shift to Lila, because she's not just some tourist wandering into Ethan's world. Lila's in her late 20s, a freelance writer who's been chasing stories across the globe, from bustling markets in Marrakesh to quiet villages in the Scottish Highlands. She's got a knack for finding the human side of every place she visits, the kind of storytelling that goes viral on YouTube for its raw, heartfelt vibe. But Lila's not here on assignment. This trip to the island is personal, a chance to escape a life that started to feel like it's closing in. She's been grappling with a loss, someone she loved deeply, someone whose absence still lingers in the margins of her journal. When she meets Ethan, it's not love at first sight. It's curiosity, maybe even a challenge. There's something about his polished confidence that makes her want to dig deeper, to see what's behind the man who seems to have it all. But Lila's got her own secrets too. The journal she carries everywhere? It's not just filled with travel notes. There's a letter tucked inside, one she hasn't opened in years, and its contents might hold the key to why she's really on this island. You're starting to see the puzzle pieces, aren't you? They're not fitting together yet, but they're definitely starting to form a picture. Here's where things get even more intriguing, because that shadowy figure who interrupted Ethan and Lila isn't just a random bystander. Let's call her Mara for now, a woman in her 40s with sharp eyes and a presence that commands attention. Mara's a local, born and raised on the island, and she runs a small guest house that's become a hidden gem for travelers seeking an authentic experience. She's got a reputation for knowing everyone's business. Not in a gossipy way, but in the way someone does when they've spent their life reading people. When Mara steps into the scene, her gaze lingers on Lila a little too long, and there's a flicker of recognition that Lila doesn't catch but Ethan does. Mara's not here by accident. She's been watching Ethan's tours for weeks, ever since rumors started swirling about a discovery on the island. Something tied to the old legends that locals whisper about over drinks. You're probably wondering what this discovery is, and I'm gonna give you a hint. It's not treasure or artifacts, but something far more personal, something that could rewrite the lives of everyone involved. Mara's got her own reasons for getting involved, and her perspective is about to add a whole new layer to this mystery. Is she a friend or a foe? That's one of the questions you're going to be wrestling with as we go deeper. Let's zoom out for a second and talk about the island itself, because it's practically a character in this story. This isn't just some generic tropical paradise you'd see in a travel vlog. The island, called Solara, has a history that's as rich as it is haunting. Locals talk about a love story from decades ago, a couple whose bond was so powerful it's said to have left an imprint on the land itself. The legend's been trending on YouTube lately, with creators speculating about whether it's true or just a romanticized myth. But there's more to it than heart-shaped sunsets. The island's got a darker side, tied to a shipwreck that happened off its coast in the 1980s. Most people think it was just a tragic accident, but Mara and a few others believe there's more to the story. Something that was covered up. Something that's starting to resurface now that Ethan's tours are digging into the island's hidden corners. This subplot is going to keep you hooked, because every clue Ethan and Lila uncover about each other seems to tie back to Solara's past, and the deeper they go, the more dangerous it gets. You're starting to feel the suspense building, right? Good, because we're nowhere near the climax yet. Now, let's introduce another perspective, because this story's too big for just Ethan, Lila, and Mara. Meet Javier, Ethan's right-hand man at Wanderpulse. Javier's the logistics guy, the one who makes sure every tour runs like clockwork. He's loyal, quick-witted, and the only person Ethan trusts with the real numbers behind the company. But Javier's got his own subplot brewing. He's been noticing discrepancies in the business. Money moving in ways it shouldn't, clients who don't quite match their profiles. At first, he chalked it up to sloppy bookkeeping, but lately, he's starting to suspect Ethan's hiding something big. When Javier sees Ethan getting distracted by Lila, he's torn. Part of him wants to protect his boss, his friend, but another part of him is curious. Maybe even a little resentful. Javier's perspective gives us a glimpse into Ethan's world from the inside, and it's not as glamorous as it looks. His suspicions are going to pull us into a new layer of intrigue, because whatever Ethan's keeping from the world, it's not just personal. It's tied to the very heart of Wanderpulse. You're probably wondering how all these threads connect, and I'm loving that you're this invested. Keep those questions in your head, because they're gonna drive you to watch every second of this. As the night unfolds on Solara, the tension between Ethan and Lila is palpable, but it's not just about their chemistry anymore. Lila's starting to notice things. Small inconsistencies in Ethan's stories, the way he deflects when she asks about his past. She's a writer after all, trained to spot the cracks in a narrative, and Ethan's got more cracks than he realizes. Meanwhile, Ethan's grappling with his own doubts. Lila's openness, her vulnerability, it's disarming him in ways he didn't expect. But there's something about her that doesn't add up. Something that makes him wonder if their meeting was really as random as it seems. And then there's Mara, circling like a hawk, dropping cryptic comments that leave both of them on edge. When she mentions the shipwreck in passing, it's like a spark ignites. Lila's journal, Ethan's guarded past, Mara's knowing glances, they're all starting to point to something bigger, something that's been buried on this island for decades. You're probably dying to know what it is, and I don't blame you. But here's where I'm gonna leave you hanging. Just as Ethan and Lila are about to confront Mara, a scream echoes from the beach, and the night explodes into chaos. What's happening? Who's in danger? And how does it tie to the secrets they're all carrying? You're gonna have to keep watching to find out, because this story's just getting started, and the twists are only getting wilder. The scream that pierces the night on Solara sends a jolt through Ethan and Lila, their moment with Mara shattered as the beach erupts into chaos. The air, once thick with the salty breeze and the hum of distant music, now crackles with panic as tourists and locals alike rush toward the source of the sound. Ethan instinctively grabs Lila's arm, his eyes scanning the crowd, while Mara slips into the shadows, her expression unreadable. You're probably gripping your phone or leaning closer to your screen, heart pounding, wondering what's happening and how this moment is about to turn everything upside down. This isn't just a random interruption. It's a turning point, a moment that's going to escalate the stakes and throw a curveball you didn't see coming. The mystery tying Ethan, Lila, and this island is about to deepen, and the subplots we've been weaving are colliding in ways that'll leave you speechless. Stick with me, because this story's taking a wild turn, and the trending keywords, love, mystery, travel, drama, fate, are all coming together in a way that's going to keep you glued to this video. Let's dive into the chaos, because the scream came from the water's edge, where a small crowd has gathered around something, or someone, washed up on the shore. It's a man, soaked and disoriented, his clothes torn as if he's been through a storm. He's muttering incoherently, clutching a small weathered object in his hand, and the locals are whispering about the shipwreck, the one tied to Solara's haunting legend that's been trending in YouTube travel vlogs. Ethan pushes through the crowd, Lila close behind, and when they get a clear look at the man, Ethan freezes. There's a flicker of recognition in his eyes, a shadow of something he's tried to forget. Lila notices, her writer's instincts kicking in, but before she can ask, the man locks eyes with Ethan and rasps, "You can't run from it." The words hit like a thunderbolt, and suddenly, the tension between Ethan and Lila isn't just about their chemistry or their secrets. It's about this stranger, who seems to know something about Ethan that could unravel everything. You're probably thinking, who is this guy? What does he know? I'm not going to give it all away yet, But this unexpected twist is about to raise the stakes higher than ever, pulling us deeper into the heart of this mystery. Let's zoom in on Ethan for a moment, because this moment is cracking his carefully constructed world wide open. He's spent years building Wonderpulse, crafting an image of a man who's untouchable, but this stranger's words have shaken him in a way Lila's never seen. Ethan's not just a charming CEO, he's a man haunted by a past he's never shared, not even with Javier. As the crowd disperses and the man is taken to Mara's guest house for care, Ethan's mind is racing. The object the man was holding, a tarnished locket, looked eerily familiar, tied to a memory he's buried deep. Could it be connected to the shipwreck? To the rumors Javier's been picking up about shady deals in Wonderpulse books? Ethan's starting to wonder if his empire, the one he's poured his life into, is built on a lie. One that this stranger might expose. Lila, watching him closely, senses the shift. She's drawn to his vulnerability, but she's also wary. Her journal, still tucked in her bag, holds a letter that might connect to this moment, and the thought of opening it now feels both terrifying and inevitable. You're feeling the suspense, aren't you? The way every clue seems to point to something bigger, something that's been hiding in plain sight. Meanwhile, Javier's subplot is heating up, and it's adding fuel to the fire. Back at the Wonderpulse base camp, Javier's been digging into those financial discrepancies, and what he's found is enough to make his blood run cold. There's a pattern: large sums of money funneled through obscure accounts, tied to a client who only exists on paper. Javier's no detective, but he's smart enough to know this isn't an accident. When he overhears a hushed conversation between two of Ethan's senior staff about keeping the Solara project quiet, his suspicions go into overdrive. The Solara project? That's news to him, and he's supposed to know everything about Wonderpulse operations. Javier's loyalty to Ethan is being tested, and he's starting to wonder if his boss is involved in something shady. Something that might explain why Ethan's so rattled by the stranger on the beach. Javier's perspective is crucial here, because it's showing us a side of Ethan's world that Lila doesn't see yet, and it's raising questions about whether Ethan's secrets are personal, professional, or both. You're probably itching to know what this project is, and I'm loving that you're this hooked. It's all connected, and the pieces are starting to fall into place. Mara, ever the enigmatic presence, is weaving her own thread into this escalating drama. At her guest house, she's tending to the stranger, but her focus isn't on his health. It's on the locket he was clutching. Mara's lived on Solara her whole life, and she knows its stories better than anyone. The shipwreck from the 80s wasn't just a tragedy. It was a turning point for the island, a moment that changed lives and left scars that never fully healed. Mara's family was tied to it in ways she's never shared, and the locket is a clue she's been waiting years to find. When she catches Lila lingering nearby, asking questions about the stranger, Mara's guard goes up. She drops a cryptic warning: some truths are better left in the deep. Lila, already on edge, feels a chill. Mara's not just a bystander, she's a gatekeeper, someone who knows more about Solara's past than she's letting on. This subplot is thickening the mystery, because Mara's knowledge could either help Ethan and Lila or put them in danger. The island's history, the shipwreck, the locket, it's all converging, and you're right there with me, feeling the weight of every revelation. Here's where the twist comes in, and it's gonna hit you like a wave. As Lila slips away from the guest house, her mind buzzing with questions, she decides to finally open the letter in her journal. It's from her mother, written years ago, and its contents are a bombshell. A confession about a trip to Solara in the 80s, a love that ended in heartbreak, and a promise to return one day. Lila's hands tremble as she reads, because the man her mother loved matches the description of someone tied to the shipwreck, and possibly to the stranger on the beach. Suddenly, Lila's presence on this island isn't just a personal escape. It's a journey she didn't know she was on, one that might connect her to Ethan in ways she never imagined. This revelation raises the stakes sky high, because now Lila's not just chasing a story or a spark with Ethan. She's chasing her own past, and it's colliding with his in ways that could tear them apart or bind them forever. You're probably reeling, wondering how this fits with Ethan's secrets and the stranger's cryptic words. That's the magic of this story. Every twist pulls you deeper, and we're not done yet. The main conflict is escalating fast now, with Ethan and Lila caught in a web of suspicion and attraction. Ethan's rattled by the stranger, Lila's shaken by her mother's letter, and the island itself seems to be closing in, its legends and secrets coming to life. Javier's digging into Wonderpulse secrets is putting him at odds with Ethan, and Mara's cryptic warnings are making everyone question who they can trust. The scream on the beach wasn't just a moment of chaos, It was a catalyst, unleashing truths that can't be buried again. As the night deepens, Ethan and Lila find themselves alone again. The locket now in Ethan's possession after a tense exchange with Mara. They're standing on the cliffs overlooking the ocean, the waves crashing below like a warning. Lila's about to confront Ethan about what he knows, but before she can, a light flickers in the distance. A boat, circling the island, too close to the wreck site for comfort. Who's out there? What are they looking for? And why does it feel like the answers are about to change everything? You're on the edge of your seat, and I'm leaving you right here, because this story's racing toward a climax that's gonna blow your mind. Keep watching, because fate's not done with Ethan and Lila yet, and the next twist is gonna be the biggest one yet. The flickering light of that mysterious boat circling Solara's wreck site casts an eerie glow over the cliffs where Ethan and Lila stand, the locket clutched tightly in Ethan's hand as the wind whips around them. The tension is palpable, the air heavy with the weight of secrets that have been buried for decades but are now clawing their way to the surface. You're probably holding your breath, wondering who's out there on the water, what the locket means, and how Ethan and Lila are going to navigate the storm of truths crashing down on them. This is it, the moment we've been building toward, the climax of he owned the travel company. She was just a tourist. Fate had other plans. The trending keywords, love, mystery, travel, drama, fate, are all colliding in a finale that's gonna tie up the loose ends, resolve the conflicts, and hit you with one final twist that'll leave you stunned. Let's dive into the heart of this story, wrap up the subplots, and give you the answers you've been chasing, all while leaving you with a takeaway that'll stick with you long after the video ends. Ethan's eyes are locked on the boat, his jaw tight, but Lila's had enough of the silence. She steps closer, her voice steady despite the chaos in her heart, and demands to know what he's hiding. The letter from her mother, the stranger on the beach, the locket, they're all connected, and she's done playing guessing games. Ethan hesitates, the weight of his past pressing down on him, but the sight of Lila's determination breaks something open. He starts talking, and the truth spills out like a dam bursting. The locket belongs to his father, a man who died in the Solara shipwreck of the 80s, or so Ethan was told. Growing up, Ethan heard whispers that the wreck wasn't an accident, that his father was involved in something shady, something tied to a deal gone wrong. When Ethan built Wanderpulse, he vowed to leave that legacy behind, but the Solara project Javier uncovered was his attempt to quietly investigate the wreck, to find proof his father wasn't the man the rumors painted him to be. The stranger on the beach? He's a former crew member from that fateful ship, a man who's been living off the grid, haunted by what he knows. And the locket? It's inscribed with a name. Lila's mother's. You're probably gasping right now, because this is the moment it all clicks. Ethan and Lila's meeting wasn't random. Their parents were connected, their lives intertwined by a tragedy that's been shaping them both without their knowledge. Lila's reeling, the letter from her mother burning in her mind. Her mother's confession about a lost love on Solara wasn't just a story, it was about Ethan's father. The two had been in love, planning a life together, but the shipwreck tore them apart. Lila's mother survived, but she never knew the full truth about what happened that night, and she carried the pain of that loss until her death. Lila's trip to Solara wasn't just a personal escape. It was fate pulling her back to the place where her mother's heart broke, and where Ethan's father's life ended. The boat in the distance, Ethan reveals, belongs to a private investigator he hired to search the wreck site, but its presence now feels like a threat. Mara's cryptic warnings, Javier's suspicions, the stranger's ramblings, they're all pointing to a cover-up that's bigger than anyone realized. As Ethan and Lila process this, Javier arrives out of breath, with news that flips everything upside down. The financial discrepancies he found in Wanderpulse books trace back to a shell company owned by someone on the island, Mara. You're feeling the intensity, right? The climax is here, and it's about to explode. Mara's guesthouse becomes the stage for the showdown, as Ethan, Lila, and Javier confront her under the flickering light of lanterns. Mara's no villain, but she's been guarding a secret that's eaten at her for years. She was a teenager during the shipwreck, and her father was the one who helped cover it up. Not out of malice, but to protect the island's economy, which relied on tourism. The wreck wasn't an accident. It was sabotage, tied to a deal involving Ethan's father and a rival company that wanted to sink his ventures. Mara's been carrying the guilt of her family's silence, and when Ethan started poking around with his Solara project, she got scared. The locket, she admits, was a keepsake she found years ago, one she kept as a reminder of the lives lost. The stranger on the beach was her way of trying to make things right, to bring the truth to light without exposing herself. As Mara speaks, the pieces fall into place. Ethan's father wasn't a criminal, but a victim. Lila's mother wasn't abandoned, but left in the dark, and Solara's legend of a powerful love wasn't a myth, it was their parents' story. The resolution is bittersweet, as Ethan and Lila realize their connection is deeper than they ever imagined, forged by a shared loss that's now a shared healing. You're probably feeling the weight of this, the way it ties up the mystery while tugging at your heart. The subplots wrap up with a sense of closure that feels earned. Javier, relieved to know Ethan wasn't betraying him, agrees to help rebuild Wanderpulse with transparency, turning it into a company that honors the truth rather than hides it. Mara, unburdened by her confession, decides to share Solara's full history with the world, hoping to heal the island's wounds. The stranger, now recovering, offers the final piece of the puzzle. A journal from the shipwreck that confirms Ethan's father tried to save the crew, redeeming his name. As for Ethan and Lila, their chemistry has evolved into something real. Not a fairy tale romance, but a bond built on understanding and resilience. They decide to stay on Solara a little longer, not as strangers or tourists, but as partners in uncovering the rest of their parents' story. The boat in the distance? It was the investigator, who found nothing but wreckage, closing that chapter but leaving the island's legacy intact. You're probably nodding along, satisfied that the questions, about the locket, the wreck, the secrets, have been answered, but I've got one last surprise to make this unforgettable. Here's the final twist, and it's gonna leave you in awe. As Ethan and Lila walk along the beach the next morning, the locket now shared between them as a symbol of their parents' love, they spot something glinting in the sand. It's another locket, identical to the first, but this one's inscribed with a different name. One that doesn't belong to either of their parents. It's a clue that there's another story, another life tied to the shipwreck, still waiting to be told. The camera pans out, the waves crashing as Ethan and Lila exchange a look, realizing their journey isn't over, it's just beginning. You're probably buzzing with excitement, because this twist doesn't just wrap up the story. It opens the door to something new, something that'll have you hitting the subscribe button and begging for a sequel. The takeaway here is powerful. Fate doesn't just bring us together. It challenges us to keep searching, to keep growing, to keep believing in the connections that shape our lives. This story's been about love, mystery, and the courage to face the past, and it's a reminder that sometimes, the greatest adventures start with a single, unexpected moment. Thank you for watching, for living this story with me. Now, tell me in the comments, what do you think that second locket means? Let's keep this journey going.